Hello everybody, this is Daniel from fitnessblender.com, and today I'm going to be taking you through a leg-specific Pilates routine. So as always, that core is going to be involved as well, but we're going to be focusing primarily on those legs, those quadriceps, hamstrings, inside, outside thigh, as well as up into that hip area. So we're going to be doing this just a little bit different than you would do a traditional Pilates style routine. Typically you go off of repetitions rather than amount of time. This time we're going to reverse it. So we're going to be going off of specific amount of time rather than repetitions. We're going to be going through 50 seconds per exercise with a 10-second break and set up to get into the next position. Now all these are relatively similar positions, so it shouldn't take you very long to get to the next one. So it should be just enough time to get you set up to move right on to the next. So we're gonna give you just a really small window of rest there to try to really burn those legs out, give you a really nice amount of tone and increase a little bit of strength in those legs as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start my timer up here. We're starting off with a few basic exercises just to focus on kind of warming those core muscles up. So the first one we're going to do is a traditional imprint. So thumbs at the base of your rib cage, fingers on the crest of your hips. Take a nice deep breath in. Those fingers and thumbs should be getting further apart as you arch that back up really nice and high. Get a nice big gap underneath that back. Then exhale down. Fingers and thumbs getting closer together. Squeeze those abs in. Pull that belly button down nice and tight. Press that lower back against that mat. Then back up, inhale, arch it up, exhale, roll those hips in, suck that belly button in nice and tight, and reverse it again, inhale up, and exhale down. Like I said, as you inhale, that back arches, that space underneath that back increases, those fingertips get further apart, those fingers and thumbs get further apart, and then reverse as you go back down. Our next one is going to be a pelvic clock. We're going to start that in just about 10 seconds. So let those abdominal muscles release for just a second. Pelvic clock is going to be a nice circular motion with those hips. So you're going to start mimicking my hand with that hip. So you're going to start off on one side, roll away, up, pause at the top, and then roll back, down, away, and then pause at the top again. So like you're trying to roll a plate on its edge. Just imagine those hips as a plate. And you're rolling that plate on its edge, pause the top, then roll it back around the other side. So you're trying to do as much coordination as you can through those hips. Just make a nice circle, pause them tilted towards you, then reverse it back the opposite direction. Keep those abs nice and tight the entire time. You're not really pressing any weight into your lower back because you're trying to roll those hips around. You're just trying to keep everything stationary or at least controlled as you do that motion. And let that relax. We're going to do leg slides next. So both those legs out completely flat. We're going to start with that left leg first, that right leg first. You're going to draw it in, hovering that leg just barely off the ground. So this isn't a leg drag, it's a leg slide. So you want to actually lift that leg off the ground, barely touching that foot to the ground, all the way up, tuck it in nice and tight, and then slowly press it back out. That foot never comes up off the ground. Try to keep that foot barely touching the entire time so that opposite leg comes up. Inhale as that leg comes up, exhale, press that leg back out. Speed that motion up just a little bit. Keep those abdominal muscles nice and tight. Press that lower back into that mat. Inhale the leg up. Exhale that leg back out. Again, barely touching that foot to the ground. Hovering just a smidge off the ground if you want to. But remember, just don't let the weight of that leg actually touch down to the ground. You don't want to drag your leg, just barely glide it. And go ahead and let that one relax. Spread that leg back out. We're going to bring the other leg back up. We're going to be doing a shoulder bridge next. So bring those heels in as close as comfortable. Hands flat against the ground. Squeeze those hips up nice and high. Slowly back down. A little bit of a gap underneath those hips. Then press them right back up again. All your weight in your heels. So those toes should be up off the ground or at least barely touching. Slowly back down. A little bit of a hover. Then press it right back up. Nice tight squeeze. Contract those glutes as tight as you can. That lower back as well as those hamstrings. Back down. A little bit of a gap. Right back up. It's a nice, slow, controlled motion. Try and get as much range of motion on those hips as you can. Tight squeeze at the top. Keep that motion really slow. And slowly let it relax back down. We're going to do a knee sway next, so those feet come nice and close together, knees put together, heels touching. Nice and slow, drop your legs off to the left, over as far as is comfortable without lifting those shoulders up off the ground. Slowly back to the center, short pause, and then the same thing off to the other side. Down as close to the ground as you can without lifting those shoulders up, then back up to the center. It's going to be exhale down away, inhale back up. Exhale down away, inhale back up. Just keep alternating back and forth, keep those abdominal muscles nice and tight. Again, not really pressing into that lower back, just keeping those core muscles solid to control that motion. Almost done. One more on the other side. Bring it back up and pause it. We've got knee hug next. So this is more of a stretch than it is really an exercise. You're going to hug those knees into your chest. Just pull them up, squeeze them into that chest. Tuck them in really nice and close. Keeping those knees as close together as is comfortable. Rolling those shoulders up towards those knees. Contracting those abs. Just breathe normally. There's no specific breathing on this one. Keep them hugged in nice and tight. Still rolling those shoulders forward. Those legs ready for that next exercise. Got 5 more seconds till we switch. And let it relax. Drop those feet down. One leg's going to go out to a full extension. The other leg's going to stay up. Go ahead and press that lower back into the ground. Contract those abs. Pull your knee in nice and close. Kind of tug on the front of that shin. Then switch those feet over. Squeeze that shin. Pull that knee in as close as is comfortable. And switch back. So it's going to be inhale as that leg comes in. Exhale as it goes away. Inhale that other leg in. Exhale as it goes away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just keep alternating back and forth. Keeping those abdominal muscles nice and tight. Press that lower back down to the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. And let those relax. You're going to extend both those legs straight up in the air. Stretch them out for just a second. One leg drops down. Freeze it, hover just above the ground. You're going to pulse twice on that leg that's still up. Switch legs, pulse twice on the opposite side, and switch back. So exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Keeping those abdominal muscles contracted nice and tight. Rolling those shoulders up as high as comfortable. Just alternating back and forth. Try to keep that leg as straight as you can. You should actually get a really good stretch on that hamstring as you pulse twice. So trying to get just a little bit further on that second pulse than you do on the first. So exhale, exhale, inhale. Nice and slow. Exhale, exhale, inhale. So abs are going to be nice and tired by the time we're done with this one. So we're going into a single pulse on this next. So short pause, hug those knees into your chest, let those abdominal muscles release. We're doing that same exact motion, but with a single pulse this time. So one leg back up again. Single pulse, just back and forth, a much quicker motion. So it's going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Nice quick motion. Keep those abs tight. Stretching that leg in as far as you can. Again, trying to keep that leg straight. You can either point those toes or flex those toes back down towards you. Flexing those toes back down towards you makes that hamstring tighten up a little bit more and that calf muscle. So just whichever's more comfortable. Just keep those lungs open. I know those abs are probably starting to get a little bit burning. And let it relax. Hug those knees into your chest again. Let those abdominal muscles release. And one leg goes out straight. Other leg's going to go straight up in the air. Try to do a nice small circle right above your hip. Pause at the top. Reverse the direction of that circle. Pause. And reverse back. Just keep alternating back and forth. We're just staying on this one leg for this round. We're going to do the other leg for the second round. So just keep it going. Hands down on the ground for a little bit of support. Pause at the top of that circle. Trying to keep it right above that hip joint as best you can. Just about 12 inches across, 6 inches across, something like that. Not very big. Try to keep that leg contracted through that thigh. Keep that leg as straight as possible. It's going to be breathing as exhale down away from you. Inhale up across. Exhale down away. Inhale up across. And bend that knee. Hug it in for just a second. Extend it out straight. We do the same thing with the other legs. The other leg comes up. Get it nice and straight. Hands on the ground. Exhale down away. Inhale up across. Pause. Exhale down away. Inhale up across. So alternating back and forth. Concentrating on keeping those muscles and those abs nice and tight, as well as contracting that thigh on that leg, keeping that nice and solid. Got a lot of stuff to think about when you're doing Pilates. So not only what muscles you're contracting and keeping them solid because they're going to try to relax on you, but also that breathing. So exhale down away, inhale up across, pause, exhale down away, inhale up across. Just keep moving it back and forth. Keep everything contracted nice and tight. We're almost done. And tuck that knee into your chest. And let it relax. We're going to do a frog kick next. So we'll start with that left leg first. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your leg up, tuck that, or lay that leg off the side and kick it out. So tuck it in, out to the side, extend out and drop it back. Tuck it straight forward, out to the side, extend out and drop down the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. This has a little bit of an odd breathing pattern on it, but you're mainly just trying to keep those lungs open the entire time. If you want to switch it into just a two-stage breathing pattern, that's fine. So be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And let that foot relax, drop it down to the ground. Same thing on the other side. Abs nice and tight, back flat against that mat. Tuck that knee in, off to the side, extend out and down. Tuck it in, extend out and down. A little bit too close to the wall there. Tuck it in and down. Try to get as much range of motion as you can. Extend that leg out, nice full extension. I'm limiting my range of motion just a little because I don't want to kick the wall. But normally you want to get that leg out as far as you can before you start drawing it down towards the other leg. Keep those abdominal muscles nice and tight. Inhale up, exhale out and down. And let it relax. All right, our next one, now those quadriceps are probably getting a little bit tired. We're going to tire them out just a little bit more. Bring those knees right above that hip joint. Don't let them tuck in any closer than that. You're just going to bring those legs straight up, full extension, nice and slow back down. A little bit of a hover, right back up again. Tight, tight squeeze on that quadricep. Keep that knee right above that hip joint the entire time. Sucking that belly button down towards your spine. Pressing that lower back into that mat. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Keep everything nice and tight. Again, you should be feeling this in your quadricep, the front of that thigh, as well as in front of that hip joint. Nice full extension. Inhale slowly back down. Those legs are trying to creep in on you, so you might need to check them. Keep those hands up there to keep those knees out. And let it relax. All right, we're gonna move on to our left side next. Again, come up onto your knee and your hand. Other hand's either up on your hip or back behind your head. All your weight as much as you can back on that rear leg. Extending the other one up and out to the side. So barely touch the ground on the bottom. Bring it up, back down. Because of that range of motion, you shouldn't really be able to get that leg very high. That hip joint should actually stop you. If you're getting that leg really, really high, you're probably leaning a little bit too far back. So keep that hip leaned forward a little bit more. Just make sure you don't lean all the way over and you start using like your glutes. You want to be focusing on the outside of that thigh. So inhale down, exhale back up. Again, keep those core muscles nice and tight. And let it relax. I'm going to switch around the other side here. Same thing off the other side. So nice full extension on that leg. And squeeze it up. So again, try to keep that knee underneath your hip as best you can. Hand is kind of kicked off in front of you just a little bit to try to keep your torso as parallel to the ground as possible. Again, contracting those core muscles nice and tight. Keep those lungs open. Exhale. Inhale back down. Exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, slowly back down. Barely touch that toe. Right back up. Just keep those lungs open. Main thing is don't hold your breath. If you get off on your breathing, that's perfectly fine. Just keep your lungs open and keep breathing. Inhale down. Exhale up. And let that relax. All right, next one is going to be for the inside thigh. So we're laying down flat on your side. Top leg, you can either lay in front just like this, or actually tuck that foot up in front of your hip. Focus on that bottom leg. You're going to squeeze it up really nice and high. Back down, small, small hover. Right back up. Tight, tight squeeze at the top. Slowly back down. Again, keep those abs nice and tight in this position. They're really not having to work to do very much. So always concentrate on keeping those abs tight, even if they don't need to be working. Exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, slowly drop it back down. We're doing the same exact thing on the other side here in just a second. And let it relax. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Scoop my mat over just a little bit. Same exact thing. Bring that leg up in front of that hip, or just dropping that knee off. Lifting that leg nice and high. Tight squeeze the top, back down, a little bit of a hover. Right back up. You can sit up and prop your head up with this one, or you can lay flat down on your arm, whichever's more comfortable, doesn't matter. Main thing is just keep those core muscles tight. Exhale as you squeeze that leg up as high as you can. Inhale as it drops back down. We're almost done with this routine. This is our last real exercise. We have just a few stretches left after this. Almost done. Tight squeeze. And let it relax. All right, switch back. Laying flat onto your back. We're going to be up on your knees, hands and knees for this next one. We're going to be doing a cat camel. So hands are underneath those shoulders, knees are underneath those hips. Dip that lower back down, kind of press that butt out back behind you. Then arch it up really nice and high. Squeeze those hips underneath like you're trying to pull them into those shoulders. And back down. Let it relax. And squeeze it back up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. relaxed. We're going to be sitting back into a shell stretch next. So bring those knees underneath you just a little bit. Sit back onto those heels. Stretch those hands out away from you. Just exhale as you stretch it out. Breathe normally. Nice, slow inhale as far in as is comfortable. Then slowly exhale back out. Inhale. And exhale. Let's try to stretch those shoulders out as you walk those fingertips away from you. Sitting back in those heels as much as you can. And we're going to switch the stretch just a little bit. You're going to bring those hands in. So the base of that hand is right about knees. Press into the mat with your hand pushing forward, and you're going to kind of tuck your shoulders down into your hips. So that pushing motion is going to help you kind of round those shoulders over. So squeeze those shoulders down into those hips. Still trying to keep your shoulders down towards those knees as much as is comfortable. Really round that back out. Just breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. Hold it. If you want to, just kind of roll those shoulders back and forth. Try and get a little extra stretch on the sides. And let that one relax. We're going to roll over onto our back. We're going to do a deep glute stretch next. So laying flat on your back. One leg is going to cross over top of the other. Grab behind the thigh of that leg and squeeze it in nice and tight. You should feel a stretch in the glute, the hip joint of the leg you have cross over top. So this leg, just keep pulling it in. You can either lay completely flat back and let those abdominal muscles release as well, or you can crunch those shoulders forward to get a little extra stretch of that back also. So just kind of tucking forward to get a little extra stretch, making those ab muscles have to work a little bit harder also. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and switch over. Leg cross over top. Again, grab behind the muscle, behind the thigh with those hands, not in front of that shin. Behind that thigh, just tuck it in as close as is comfortable. Again, should be feeling it in the glute or the hip joint of the leg that you have crossed over top. So this leg, squeezing it in nice and tight. Again, you can either lay back completely relaxed and just pull that knee in, or you can crunch up towards that foot as tight as you possibly can to get a little extra stretch out of that glute as well as into that back a little bit. Make those abdominal muscles have to work a little harder too. Just breathe normally. And let that one relax. We have just one more stretch to go. This one you're going to extend those legs out nice and straight, flat against the ground, hands up above your head, full extension. You're going to press those hands and feet in the opposite direction at the same time as taking a deep breath in. So deep breath, extend those arms and legs, press them in opposite directions, arch that lower back up nice and high. Exhale, let it relax. Inhale, press it out. Exhale, let it relax. We're going to do it a few more times. Inhale, arch that back up, press those hands and feet in opposite directions. Big deep breath. And exhale. Let it relax. One more time. Inhale. Really exaggerate it. Press those feet, press those hands. Arch that back. And exhale. Let it relax. All right. That is the end of our Pilates routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. This workout is complete.